So if you love resinous, smoky, incensey fragrances, you're absolutely going to want to check out Mind Games As-Suli'S Diamonds. So let's review it now. Hey, what's going on? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, what I do is I make fragrance related content. So if you love fragrances, hit that subscribe button down below and also make sure to follow my fragrance Instagram page as well. But today we're gonna be reviewing one of the fragrances from a brand new niche fragrance brand, Mind Games. Of course, today we're gonna be talking about As-Suli'S Diamonds. Now, honestly, from what I've tried from the house of Mind Games, I am extremely impressed with the quality, the uniqueness, and just everything about this house, guys. I did recently review Grand Master, as you see right there. Phenomenal rose coffee based fragrance, but this one, however, is completely different and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. But first, I do want to mention that this fragrance was sent out for review by the guys over at So Avant-Garde, who is actually a distributor for many designer and niche brands. So shout out to those guys, and I'll leave their link down below in the comment section for you to actually purchase Mind Games or anything else from the entire catalog because it's extremely huge. Now let's go over some information about As-Suli'S Diamond. Now this fragrance was launched this year in 2022. Like I said, it's a brand new niche house who actually launched 10 fragrances on startup, including in this one, which is part of like the clear bottle line, which have 5, and then you have 5 in the darker black bottle line as well. Price for a 100 ml bottle, which is the only size these come in, is gonna run you $345, which is of course pretty expensive, but when you look at other niche brands, that's not honestly too bad. If you look at like Creed for 100 mls, that runs you around like $500 to $600, and some other houses also. So the pricing is pretty steep, but honestly, not that bad compared to others. Now, also what makes it seem like you're getting your money's worth is the concentration, because these are actually a straight to parfum, which is the highest of perfume oils in fragrances. So you know this stuff is gonna be strong, it's gonna be potent. The perfumer behind As-Suli'S Diamond is Anik Monardo, who's actually a master perfumer who has created many designer and niche fragrances that are extremely popular. So you know a good nose went behind creating this one. So with all that information out of the way, let's go look at the packaging and presentation you will get with this fragrance now. All right, so taking a look at this very nicely made box. Of course, you have the Mind Games with the crown logo, As-Suli'S Diamond with the chest piece right there. It does say cypress smoke as well right there, so you're going to know what kind of fragrance this is gonna be. Like I said, a straight to parfum 100 ml bottle. On the bottom, you do have your barcode and batch code to authenticate your product and see when it was produced, and these are also made in the USA. Nothing on the sides. On the top, you do have the MG logo with the crown also. And then on the back, you do have some kind of information. It says, As-Suli'S Diamond conjures feelings of an ancient and mythical time, using notes that are at once intense, carnal, smoky, and luminous. Notes of fruits and flowers from the Middle Eastern region waft deliberately above the resinous woods and smoky hints of incense, instantly taking you on a journey to an exotic place and time. So that is a pretty nice kind of information about the fragrance. And when you lift it up like so, your bottle is housed in there. It is kind of like a nice foam material, so it is very nicely snug. And you do have a Mind Games card to kind of just go over some information about the house and things like that. So all in all, the box is very well done. Let's look at the bottle now. All right, so looking at this bottle, man, this looks like a work of art. Of course, you have that chest piece on the top, Mind Games engraved into the cap as well. You do have this very nicely done plaque that says, of course, Mind Games, As-Suli'S Diamond, Cypress Smoke. Nothing on the back. On the bottom, you do have a sticker, which is kind of hard to read, and a batch code, but it is there with some of your information. And you do have this kind of like white wooden thing going around the atomizer as well, which is a nice touch. Nothing inside the cap, but the cap is, by the way, extremely heavy, and it does click into place, but honestly not that snug. I would not be confident picking this up by the cap. And you do have that atomizer stem, which the only gripe I have about this presentation is that atomizer being very, very low. I wish it was a little bit taller, because when you spray it, sometimes you do get some of the juice on the wood. But all in all, phenomenal looking bottle that will stand out in anybody's fragrance collection. In the top, you have fig leaf, mandarin orange, and bergamot. In the middle, you have broom, tonka bean, and ylang ylang. And in the base, you have opoponax, incense, myrrh, and amberwood. So looking at that note breakdown, you're going to be expecting a lot of resins, especially in the base. So let's go and spray this one, test out the atomizer, and see what we get. Very nice atomizer. That is extremely pressurized. You can spray a little bit, you can spray a lot, depending on how much you want to wear that day. But Let's go to remind myself of this opening of As-Suli'S Diamonds now. Okay, so right off the bat in the opening, it does come across extremely green, like a fresh green, slightly earthy, nuanced fragrance, and that's coming from that fig leaf. Now, I'm not talking about the fig fruit, I'm talking about the leaf of the fig. So you're gonna be expecting a very nice, fresh green top note. Now that mandarin orange and that bergamot do not stand out whatsoever. I'm actually not getting any citrus notes at all, just very fresh and green. But if you love fig, you love fig leaf, man, this is gonna be one you're absolutely gonna wanna check out because that fig leaf note stands out a lot and it actually lasts quite a while. Now, once it does start to settle down a little bit, once you make your way into the mid, is when it turns a little bit creamy and almost it gives it like a honey nuanced vibe. And I think that's coming from the broom. Now, I've never seen broom before in any fragrances, but when I got this honeyness, I had to look it up because I know honey wasn't listed. And when I looked up broom, it can give it a honey kind of vibe from that note, but it's actually a floral. So it does kind of have that honeyness, but it has like a floral tone about it mixed together. So very unique. I've never smelled anything quite like it, to be honest with you. You also have that tonka bean, which does give it some more creaminess and a little bit of spice kick as well. That ylang-ylang doesn't really stand out that much, but you might be able to detect it, but mostly is that broom and tonka bean, just very creamy, honey-like, a little bit sweet, but not so much. Now the top and the mid are done very nicely, very unique. Like I said, these fragrances from Mind Games, at least the ones I've tried, which is 2 so far, smell nothing like anything I've ever smelled before. So they're not cloning, they're not even inspired by anything that I know of. Just very well done, unique creations. And that top, that mid is very nice, but honestly the best part is the last part, and that's the base. Because if you know me, I love resins, I love smokiness, I love everything about resinous fragrances, and this one is jam-packed with them. Of course, you have the opalcanax, you have the myrrh, you have the incense, and that modern kind of amber wood. Now the incense does stand out the most out of those 4 notes in the base, alongside that sweet kind of warm myrrh note, which does actually peek through quite a bit. You do get a nice sweetness, a nice smokiness. Honestly, one of the best incense fragrances I've ever smelled. It does kind of give off a spiritual nature about it in the dry down. And incense is in my top 3 favorite notes of all time, alongside oud and patchouli. It probably would be incense at number 3 or number 2. So you know me, if a fragrance is heavy on incense, heavy on smoky incense, I'm absolutely gonna love it. And trust me, I absolutely adore As-Suli'S Diamond. I was looking, of course it does say cypress smoke. There's not cypress listed, but you definitely in the opening, I do wanna let you know, you get that green, kind of almost a cypress vibe, which I love cypress as well. It kind of has that old school masculineness to it, but it is mostly that fig. I don't know why they put cypress smoke, but they did for some reason. It's probably because how green the opening is. Wow, guys, that dry down just blows me away. I love it so much. I might even wear this one as my scent of the day today. And whenever I'm in the mood for incense fragrances, of course you do have like Interlude Man, which is one of my favorite fragrances as well because of the incense. That one is extremely different to the kind of incense you get in here though. Honestly, this stuff comes across so natural. And obviously being expensive, master perfumer behind it, a very high-end niche brand, you're gonna be expecting some natural ingredients, and that natural incense definitely shines and comes through very well. Now let's talk about seasons and occasions that best suits As-Suli'S Diamond. Now for seasons, I would best rock this for the fall, winter, and probably spring as well because of that green earthiness in the top. This works perfect for those 3 seasons. Summer, not so much because like I said earlier in the top, you get none of those citruses, the mandarin orange or the bergamot. I don't detect either of those. It's a very green, creamy, smoky, resinous fragrance that shines absolutely perfect for the colder months. Now for occasions for As-Suli'S Diamonds. Honestly, this one does come across very classy, so you are gonna be expecting it to better for like a formal outing, a formal situation, not really casual. It's not really a fragrance that you just wanna throw on if you're running errands or something like that, even though you could easily. But in my head, it definitely is more suited for a formal event. Maybe possibly like a wedding, or if you're dressed up, or even if you're going to work in like an office where you actually have to dress up, like wear a suit or a button up or something like that. It just works better for a business kind of a formal situation. So for gender and age groups, now honestly this one does lean on the masculine side of things because of the green, the cypress tones, of course resinous, smoky. those kind of nuances definitely lean more masculine than feminine. Now for age groups though, this one is mature. Very, very mature actually. It just has a grown up kind of mature business vibe. So I would say anyone probably in their 30s and up is perfect for a As-Suli'S diamond. So if you're like a grown man, you're looking for a classy, upscale, high quality fragrance, you're absolutely gonna wanna check out this one. I think it would just work perfectly for those kind of age groups. Doesn't mean if you're under 30, you can't pull this one off. Like myself, of course, I wear this one, love it, I can wear it all the time. But in my head, the best situation, the best age groups for it is definitely 30 and up in my opinion. Let's wrap things off on the performance of As-Suli'S diamonds. I gotta say, man, mind games do not miss when it comes to performance, at least from this one and Grandmaster. Extremely potent, strong fragrances, above average. And when I test these, I put average as around 8 hours of longevity. Anything below 8 hours is below average. Anything that actually lasts longer than 8 hours, I consider above average. This one easily lasts 12 plus hours on skin. Once you get to the base, from the smokiness, the resinous, it does not go off of your skin, guys. That stuff just lingers and lingers and lingers until you shower once or even twice. It's that strong of a fragrance. Also, of course, being an extrait to bahama, you're gonna be expecting longevity to be around, like I said, the 12-hour plus mark, and that's exactly what this one is. Now for projection, however, the projection was pretty solid. Maybe projected off of skin for 3 to 4 hours. I wouldn't say it's like the most beast mode powerhouse fragrance. When you spray this one on, it's gonna fill a room. And that's usually what happens. When you get higher up on the concentration level, they last longer but project a little bit less. That's why like eau de colognes, eau de toilettes will project heavy for a few hours, but then it won't last that long. This one does project very solid. Not nuclear though, but it does last extremely, extremely long. You definitely get your money's worth instead of like going out and buying $100, $200 fragrance that lasts maybe 5 hours. This one, you're getting, like I said, 345 bucks is expensive, but you are getting potent juice that will last you easily a day and a half even. That's gonna do it for my review of the brand new Mind Games As-Suli'S Diamond. Let me know down below if you actually had the chance to smell these. I know you can actually go to Neiman Marcus, who actually carries them in person, to get your nose on all 10 of them. See which ones you like, or of course you could go to soavantgarde.com and purchase them as well. But yeah, just let me know your guys' thoughts on Mind Games. If you haven't tried these, if you're thinking about it, then leave a comment and down below and we'll discuss it. But as always, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see all of you here in my next fragrance video. Take care, everybody.